Okay, if you open your eyes and keep your hands on the hand plate. Okay, so this is your aura, and the picture on the top left shows you the color of your aura or its current vibration. Um, Now, your aura is a collection really of all your thoughts, feelings, and emotions, but it also illustrates, as we're about to find out, any connections with spirit you have. And here we see that the aura has lots of white coming in here on the left, and that means that you have a connection with the divine, or with God, or the creator, or source, whatever makes sense to you. And that's not just sort of an occasional thing, it's quite near and dear to you. But the color white also indicates that it's a two-way relationship. It's not like you're just sort of sitting down and going, "Dear God, please help me get this, that, and the other." There's a very much an interactive relationship. Does that make sense? Okay. And you can see there's lots of blue around you, particularly royal blue. Royal blue is usually the color of Archangel Michael. And I don't know if you can see it, but you can see a white line around the edge of your aura, and that is divine protection. So do you work with protection? Do you work with Archangel Michael?
I did my protection this morning.
Okay, fantastic. Well done. Protection is always a good thing. Well done for doing it this morning. And we're just looking at your colors literally. Now, each part of this energy around you signifies a different aspect of your being. It's your non-physical self. And closer in, we have what's called the etheric layer, which is like the blueprint of your physical existence. And the next one out is called the emotional layer. The next one out is called the mental layer, and then the spiritual layer. So actually, we think up here, and then it comes down into the brain. So that's why this will change as your thoughts start changing. So that was a guardian angel coming in there, that white round, I don't know if you saw that, right white round disc. There was also, but we didn't get a chance to see it, a violet disc, which is usually I should say a guide, a senior guide. So just from your aura, I can tell immediately, just from the colors you've got here, I can tell immediately that you have a connection with spirit and it's important. But it also indicates your intuition is pretty strong. Down here, we've got, if you like, a snapshot in the middle of this image, this round circle or pie chart in the middle of the image, where it says that you've got 73% spirit, which tells me that generally you're incredibly intuitive and you're very spiritual, and you work with your intuition. It's not just something you sort of go, yeah, whatever, I'll listen to that if I want to. But actually, I'd say it's effectively at the very heart of who you are. Yeah. Now, having this amount of intuition is rare. We don't usually see this number of people walk through the door, so to speak, and have a sort of 73% connection with spirit. It's very, very strong. So, for example, if 30 or 40% would mean someone who's able to meditate. 40 or 50% would be where someone was at if they were giving an intuitive reading or tarot cards or anything like that. So 73% means that you can pretty much do anything you want spiritually. Any of the spiritual activities, whatever you might like to label them, from inspired speaking, possibly even to trance, all the way up to transfiguration, etc. There's no accident about something walking through the door and having a 73% connection with spirit. It doesn't just happen overnight, or it doesn't just happen by pure accident. Your energy and your energy field around you shows you really at many levels who you came to be in this life and what gifts and skills you came to use. And here, unambiguously, it's your intuition. And we can see that because often you can see this white light coming in, and often we find that spirit interacts with this aura cam so that you know at some level that this is really also what they also feel about this. Often a lot of white comes in if it doesn't make sense to you, or more importantly, if you're going, yeah, really, you're just saying that, that's not true. Often there's if you like, a validation or affirmation coming through, and it's coming through this side, which is to your right. It's a mirror image. So this royal blue, this white, also indicates you're able to step out of your head into your heart, and I'd say effortlessly. You try. I think you're probably one of the very few people indeed who can do that. Most of us are never going to get out of our head. We're always going to be in our head, always with the sort of mind racing, the logic and the rationality. But you absolutely have the ability to get into your heart. And as we get into our heart, we get into a closer connection with spirit, but we also find access to inner peace. So I'd say you're able to do that as well pretty effortlessly. And I don't know if you've always been able to do that, or you've kind of learned to do that more recently. It doesn't mean you're always in your heart, but it basically means that you're able to access a place of peace when you choose to do that. Also got lots of lavender, violet, which is the highest vibration color there is, and so lots of violet around here and around here. Let's have a quick look at your chakras. So this is showing you 9 bars here, but we ignore the left and the right there. What we're really looking for is to understand where you are in terms of the balance of your chakras. Now, because you've got 73% spirit, so what happens, and the reason why your chakras appear a little bit underpowered just here, is because all that amazing energy, and you can see it pulsing around you. It comes in through pulses, that's prana, chi, whatever you like to call it, comes down through your chakras and literally pulses out the energy as it brings it through the chakras. And you can see that kind of going on there, the occasional pulse or the enlarging of your aura every few seconds. But what is happening is it's coming through, that divine energy is coming down into your chakras, and it's kind of going, well, there's not a huge amount of grounding here. And therefore it kind of leaks out into your aura around you. This will attract people towards you. So you're to people, whether they understand why or not, they will be drawn towards you. And that means obviously that occasionally they can nab your energy. So doing things like protection, closing and sealing your energy field is going to be really helpful for you to manage your gift and ability, intuitive gifts and abilities. And just a couple of other points. As we look at the chakras, we don't just look at how your biography or your life story becomes your biology. In other words, each chakra helps you understand not just a different aspect of your being, but it also helps you understand occasionally any health problems you've got. It also helps us understand your inner compass. And what we're looking at here is we're just really looking at how your intuition works specifically for you. So our intuition will work differently for different people. Sometimes it's having a sense of seeing things or feeling things or knowing things. But by looking at your chakras, we can pretty much get an instant snapshot of how your inner guidance operating system works. So firstly, well, your strongest chakra almost by far is your third eye. So that tells me that you have the ability to see energies. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And that tells me also that that's probably going to get a lot stronger, because the chakras give you an indication not of where you're at, but also of where you might be in the future. The crown chakra is also pretty strong. So you ever get a sense of sort of inner knowing or light bulb moments or anything like that? All the time. Wow, that's fantastic. So, and do you listen to it?
Most of the time.
Yes, most of the time. I think.
Some of the time.
Okay. Join the club. The other one that's quite strong is down at sacral. So are your feelings, your inner feelings important to you? And have you ever been in that situation where you kind of felt you should do one thing and you've gone and done the other because that your brain has told you to do another, and you've gone, darn, I wish I'd listened to my intuition, my feelings. Okay, so that's the learning journey that comes with having a lot of inner senses going on, a lot of inner connections going on, and also see you're a natural empath. Looking at the heart, you're a natural empath. Yeah. And what's interesting as I say that is that actually, if we go back to the aura, there was a lot of turquoise coming in, a lot of aquamarine. These means that you're able to communicate heart to heart with someone else, which basically means you're able to talk with them or sit with them and have a really close connection with them. Do you often find that when you speak to people, it only takes 2 or 3 minutes for you to have a really good rapport with them?
Yes, complete strangers.
Okay. All right, and that's because you're such a good heart-to-heart communicator. And they always say in the scientific journals that in terms of communication, something like 5 or 10% is what we say, but I think you have somehow mastered the remaining 90%. So it's good to know. But it makes sense, right? I hope.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So some people will never have that gift to the degree that you have it. So you're going to be amazing in any form of healing profession, any form of marketing, any form of communications, any form of. So all of these are going to be your greatest gifts, and of course, working with your intuition, working with your creativity is going to be really important to you as well. So,
I was a communications manager.
Are you a communications manager?
I was.
You were. You've moved on from that.
Yes.
Okay. And that, interestingly, green is a sign of change. So it's interesting that when you mentioned that you've moved on, from being a communications manager to something else, immediately the green came in. But also green is healing, so I'd also suggest that shift has been at some level healing for you. So what we're seeing here is your energy field is literally changing second by second. Rather than just giving you a picture, we're helping you understand minute by minute at a much really deeper level of understanding about yourself really and how you work. I describe this little circle in the middle as an inner operating system, and that helps you understand how for you, and it's often unique for each individual, so the percentages are rarely the same, your mind blends with your intuition and your body. And what it's telling me is that your intuition is incredibly strong, and often you'll respond to people and work through issues, not all the time, mostly with your intuition. And the only time you can get stuck is when you skip into this little green bit here in this circle, which is your mind. So if you ever get stuck, you know the way forward is not to think more with the mind, because that will take you further away from the intuition. That will get stronger and stronger. It has the potential to block your intuition. So generally with that amount of intuition, life should be more of a flower than a violent up and down.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you won't have ups and downs, but the way to get out of that is literally to take time out, to watch something funny, to enjoy yourself, to relax, to talk to someone. Just get away from whatever it is that's worrying you. And then your intuition will come in really strongly, and you should get a sense of knowing, feeling, sensing, or seeing something that gives you the validation on how to take your steps forward. Okay. So in summary, you're giving out amazing energy, white, ultraviolet, so people are going to be drawn to you. So things like protection and grounding are going to be important. You've got divine protection around you, that white line around you. You work, I'd say, hand in glove with spirit. Archangel Michael as well, the divine. So much going on in your energy field. We saw guides, and I think we saw a guardian angel earlier on. You are a genuinely an authentic, and I'd probably say a natural intuitive. Some of us have to struggle to get there, but it feels like with this level, you were always that way.
I was from an early childhood, 3, 4 years old. I knew things.
Oh wow. Okay, so if you're doing that at 3 or 4, that must have been a little bit confusing for you.
No.
No. So you just said what you felt.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure wasn't always appreciated by everyone else.
No.
Did it prove to be right though?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, scary. And the chakras, in terms of the chakras, perhaps a little bit more grounding. We'll retain some of this energy in your body, not just leak it out to the aura, where people will be able to drain it off you. And you've got strong claircognizance, so an inner knowing. You've got strong clairvoyance, so there's seeing energies. And thirdly, you've got strong clairsentience. So the more you validate, acknowledge, and appreciate those, and the more you say, thanks, guys, when you do make the right decision and go with your feelings, the stronger they will come into your life and the more guided from within you'll be. Okay, so does that make sense?
Yes, it does, absolutely.
All right, okay. Thank you very much indeed.